Good evening. This is All India Radio and I am Nishit Kumar with the news at 9. The headlines. President Draupadi Murmu addresses both houses of parliament, says India is emerging as a provider of solutions to issues faced by the world. Union budget for financial year 2023-24 to be presented in Lok Sabha tomorrow at 11 a.m. Economic Survey 2022-23 presented in both houses of parliament envisages Indian economy to grow at 6.5% in 2023-24. India's economy is poised to do better in the remainder of this decade, says Chief Economic Advisor Dr. V. Anantha Nageshwaran. President Murmu says a strong and healthy society is possible only with women empowerment. And in sports, India to take on New Zealand in the third and the final T20 International in Ahmedabad tomorrow. And now the news in detail. Addressing the joint sitting of both the Houses of Parliament on the first day of the budget session, President Draupadi Murmu asserted that India has a stable, fearless and decisive government which is working towards realizing big dreams. On India's growing stature in the world, President Murmu said the people have witnessed many positive changes for the first time during the tenure of this government. She said India, which once looked to others for solutions to most of its problems, is today emerging as a provider of solutions for the issues faced by the world. Talking about India's G20 presidency, the President said, with the mantra of One Earth, One Family, One Future, the country is attempting to find collective solutions to the current global challenges in collaboration with the G20 member countries. The President stressed on the need to build a nation by 2047 which not only embraces its glorious past but also encompasses every golden aspect of modernity.
अमृतकाल के ये 25 वर्ष का कालखंड स्वतंत्रता की स्वर्णिम शताब्दी का और विकसित भारत के निर्माण का कालखंड है। ये 25 वर्ष हम सब के लिए और देश के प्रत्येक नागरिक के लिए कर्तव्यों की पराकाष्ठा करके दिखाने के ये हमारे सामने युग निर्माण का अवसर है और हमें इस अवसर के लिए 100% सामर्थ्य के साथ हर क्षण कार्य करना है.
Asserting that corruption is the biggest enemy of democracy and social justice, the President said there has been a relentless fight against corruption in the last few years.
मेरी सरकार का स्पष्ट मत है कि भ्रष्टाचार लोकतंत्र का और सामाजिक न्याय का सबसे बड़ा दुश्मन है. भ्रष्टाचार के विरुद्ध निरंतर लड़ाई चल रही है. हमने सुनिश्चित किया है कि व्यवस्था में ईमानदार का सम्मान होगा. भ्रष्टाचारियों के लिए समाज में किसी भी प्रकार की सहानुभूति न हो, इसके लिए सामाजिक चेतना भी देश में बढ़ रही है. पिछले वर्षों में भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त इकोसिस्टम बनाने की दिशा में बेनामी संपत्ति अधिनियम को नोटिफाई किया गया है.
The President also said major reforms have been introduced, including Jan Dhan Aadhaar Mobile Trinity, One Nation One Ration Card, DBT and Digital India. The Economic Survey 2022-23 was presented in both the Houses of Parliament today by the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. The survey has projected a baseline GDP growth of 6.5% in real terms in the next financial year. It also said India is to remain the fastest growing major economy in the world. The survey stated that the rise in consumer prices has slowed considerably. It also stated that India's agriculture sector has been witnessing robust growth with an average annual growth rate of 4.6% over the last 6 years. According to the survey, gross tax revenue registered a year-on-year growth of 15.5% from April to November last year, and the net tax revenue to the centre after the assignment to states grew by 7.9% on a year-on-year basis. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that Economic Survey is a comprehensive analysis of India's growth trajectory. Mr. Modi said this survey includes the global optimism towards the nation, focus on infrastructure, growth in agriculture, industries and emphasis on futuristic sectors. Addressing a press conference in New Delhi on the highlights of Economic Survey, Chief Economic Advisor Dr. V. Anantha Nageshwaran said the country's GDP growth is expected to remain robust in financial year 2023-24. He said India's economy is poised to do better in the remainder of this decade. Dr. Nageshwaran said that the International Monetary Fund, in its World Economic Outlook update, has maintained India's GDP forecast for current financial year at 6.8%. He added that there is no need to speak of pandemic recovery anymore, and we have to look ahead to the next phase.
The survey looks ahead to the medium term because the pandemic response and recovery phase is over. And therefore, after a long time, we have banking, non-banking and corporate sectors with healthy balance sheets, and they are ready to borrow and lend and invest. So we don't have to speak about pandemic recovery anymore. We have to look ahead to the next phase of India's economic growth process.
He also added that India is well ahead of its targets for renewable energy mix. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will present the Union Budget for the financial year 2023-24 in the Lok Sabha tomorrow at 11 a.m. The copy of the budget will be laid on the table of the Rajya Sabha soon thereafter. A meeting of the Union Cabinet will be held in the morning to approve the Union Budget 2023-24. After getting the nod from the Cabinet, Ms. Sitharaman will present the Union Budget in Parliament. Ahead of the presentation of the budget, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that the world is looking towards India's budget in the present global headwinds. He also said India's budget is an attempt to meet the hopes and aspirations of the common citizens. He expressed confidence that Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will try to meet those aspirations.
आज के वैश्विक परिस्थिति में भारत के बजट के तरफ न सिर्फ भारत का लेकिन पूरे विश्व का ध्यान है। डावाडोल विश्व की आर्थिक परिस्थिति में भारत का बजट भारत के सामान्य मानवी की आशा आकांक्षाओं को तो पूरा करने का प्रयास करेगा ही, लेकिन विश्व जो आशा की किरण देख रहा है उसे वो और अधिक प्रकाशमान नजर आए। मुझे पूरा भरोसा है निर्मला जी इन अपेक्षाओं को पूर्ण करने के लिए भरपूर प्रयास करेंगी।
This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Budget 2023. What makes the headlines? What matters most for the people, markets, sectors, industry and the nation? Join All India Radio News for a special live day-long program on Union Budget for an in-depth analysis by experts, special budget bulletins, people's reaction on the budget and exclusive interviews. Tune into the FM Gold channel 100.1 MHz of All India Radio and other frequencies from 10:10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Wednesday, that's 1st of February. It will also be available on our app News on AIR and our YouTube channel News on AIR Official.
Welcome back. President Draupadi Murmu has said that a strong and healthy society is not possible without women empowerment. She said women empowerment is not just an issue of social justice, but it is also crucial for economic development. President Murmu was addressing the 31st Foundation Day celebrations of the National Commission for Women in New Delhi this evening. She said the more active role of women would be helpful in making India one of the largest economies of the world and achieving the target of $5 trillion economy well before the set time.
भारत आज विश्व की 5वीं सबसे बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था है और अब देश $5 ट्रिलियन अर्थव्यवस्था बनने की ओर आगे बढ़ रहा है। इस लक्ष्य को प्राप्त करने के लिए महिलाओं की और अधिक सक्रिय भूमिका सहायक होगी।
The President also urged all citizens to work towards creating an environment where all women can fully participate and contribute in the socio-economic, cultural and political spheres significantly. Expressing concerns over the gender discrimination, President Murmu said that examples of female feticide are also seen in well-educated parts of the country, which is a matter of worry. She emphasized that it is not only the responsibility of the government, but of the whole society to change the situation.
आज भी देश के कई हिस्सों में जेंडर रेशियो की स्थिति चिंताजनक है। आज 21वीं सदी के आधुनिक युग में भी लड़का और लड़की में भेदभाव किया जाता है। इस स्थिति को बदलना केवल सरकार तो नहीं है, बल्कि पूरे समाज की जिम्मेदारी है।
In her address, Women and Child Development Minister Smriti Irani reiterated government's commitment of empowering women of all sections of society. The two-day meeting of the International Financial Architecture Working Group under the Indian G20 presidency concluded in Chandigarh today. Addressing the media, Economic Advisor, Department of Economic Affairs, Anu P. Mathai said, The meeting deliberated on various issues, including strengthening and reforming multilateral development banks. She said the meeting saw participation of nearly 100 delegates from G20 member countries, invitee countries and international organizations, which demonstrates the strong commitment of the global community to support India's G20 presidency. A G20 delegation will visit the World Heritage Site Kaziranga National Park in Assam tomorrow. Over 70 delegates will conduct a jeep safari at Kohora and Bagori range of the park and also visit the convention center of the park. Our correspondent reports that the first Sustainable Finance Working Group meeting will be held in Guwahati on the 2nd and the 3rd of February. The Assam government has taken all measures for smooth conduct of the meeting. Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia today virtually inaugurated a flight connecting Bhubaneswar, Kolkata and Jamshedpur. The flight connecting the three cities of Odisha, West Bengal and Jharkhand will be operated by India One Air under Regional Connectivity Scheme UDAN. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Scindia said this new service will strengthen the economy of these three major cities. He said this will also increase employment opportunities and promote tourism. Mr. Scindia said more than 1 crore 15 lakh people have travelled by flight since the launch of UDAN scheme. The minister also said that flights from Dumka and Bokaro in Jharkhand will be operationalized soon. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO Film Festival came to a close in Mumbai. This edition was the biggest ever SCO Film Festival, with 58 films from 14 countries being showcased. The closing ceremony saw the winners being declared for the various competition categories. Lyricist and chairperson of the Central Board of Film Certification, Prasoon Joshi, and celebrities from the film industry were in attendance. Addressing the audience via video message, Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Anurag Thakur, congratulated all participants and the jury for the successful conduct of the festival. He expressed optimism that the exchange of ideas the festival has witnessed will lead to further cooperation, co-production and co-creation in the field of cinema in the SCO region. In the festival, Marathi film Godavari, directed by Nikhil Mahajan, was judged the best film. Xiaoji Rao, director of the Chinese film Homecoming, won the award for the best director. Kazakh actor Askar Ilyaso won the best actor male for Paralympian, while Rano Shedieva from Uzbekistan won the Best Actor Female Award for The Fate of a Woman. In Gujarat, the Sessions Court in Gandhinagar today sentenced self-styled godman Asaram to life imprisonment in connection with a rape case of 2013. The Sessions Court judge D.K. Soni pronounced the ruling after hearing the arguments on the quantum of the sentence. Asaram was convicted yesterday by the court in a rape case filed by a former woman disciple in 2013. Asaram is currently lodged in a Jodhpur jail where he is serving a life sentence in another case of raping a minor girl at his ashram in Rajasthan in 2013. Former Law Minister and Senior Advocate Shanti Bhushan passed away today. He was 97. Shanti Bhushan was India's Law Minister from 1977 to 1979. India has extended its condolences to the families of the victims of yesterday's terror attack in Peshawar, Pakistan. In a tweet, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said India strongly condemns the attack, which has taken the lives of so many people. Meanwhile, the death toll in the suicide blast has risen to 93. A nationwide strike is underway in France in a second wave of protests against President Emmanuel Macron's plan to raise the retirement age from 62 to 64. And India will take on New Zealand in the third and the final T20 International in Ahmedabad tomorrow. India won the second T20 in Lucknow and leveled the three-match series 1-1. Winning tomorrow's match will help the Hardik Pandya-led side to not just win the series but also to maintain its number one ranking. The match will start at 7 p.m. IST. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. President Draupadi Murmu addresses both houses of parliament, says India is emerging as a provider of solutions to issues faced by the world. Union budget for financial year 2023-24 to be presented in Lok Sabha tomorrow at 11 a.m. Economic Survey 2022-23 presented in both houses of parliament envisages Indian economy to grow at 6.5% in 2023-24. India's economy is poised to do better in the remainder of this decade, says Chief Economic Advisor Dr. V. Ananta Nageshwaran. President Murmu says a strong and healthy society is possible only with women empowerment. And in sports, India to take on New Zealand in the third and the final T20 International in Ahmedabad tomorrow. And that's all in the news at 9. Good night.